Let's bring in now Sky News contributor Kosha Garda. And Kosha, let's pick up on Donald Trump's spray last night, his post on Truth Social, this unorthodox way of handling foreign policy and wars, where he publicly criticises an ally 1 minute and then says he's proud of them the next, swearing, calling the media scum. What can we make of this bizarre way of running the world?
I think it's another illustration, Sharri, great to be with you as always, of let Trump be Trump. That adage is something now that's been spoken so many times over the past decade. I would piece apart 2 or 3 things that are going on in there. One is stylistically, and profanity is something I don't think he's done from the bully pulpit as president before, but in general, he plays fast and loose with rhetoric. He loves to be bombastic, whether it's calling North Korea's leader Rocket Man or the clips over here that he's retweeting. He does that to some effect. It is controversial, but by and large, people have kind of gotten used to it. A lot of people like it and think that it's effective. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but in general, that is his way, and it's part of his approach stylistically. I think he likes to throw people off balance and have a big stick rhetorically and keep people guessing, essentially. In terms of the substance of what he said, so there's a couple things there. One is attacking the media, calling them scum. That's like a tried and tested strategy for him. The media's trust is at an all-time low. He's very adversarial with them. His base hates the media and doesn't trust them, and that tends to actually play well. He's also angry with the cleanup that he's having to do. I think that was a communications misstep of not putting the reports out there, and people are questioning how effective the bomb strikes were. And then the last bit is, of course, the way he went after Israel. That is unusual for a U.S. president. But I think he's just expressing his frustration and the fact that it's a layered issue domestically and with his base about whether or not the U.S. should have gotten involved or should continue to get involved in that region, and he's just giving voice to that.
Indeed. And also he'd promised it would be a forever ceasefire, and it didn't look like it was going to last more than a few hours. Although thankfully now it's been a bit of a calm day. Kosha, in New York today, there was a huge upset with TikTok influencer Zohran Mamdani, not sure if I'm saying his name correctly, Mamdani, beating former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo in the Democratic primary election for mayor. Now, this influencer is an outspoken anti-Zionist. He's refused to condemn calls to globalize the Intifada, and here he was at a protest. I mean, Kosha, this seems like a shocking result today, and surely people don't want this kind of behaviour from their politicians.
We would hope, and yet the result tells us otherwise. This one, Shari, really pains me as a longtime New Yorker. One of the greatest cities in the world. It's the epicenter of the Western Hemisphere and one of the most important cities. And he looks like he is on a glide path to winning. He defeated Andrew Cuomo, as you said. He sort of was flying under the radar and came out of nowhere. And not only those comments and his position there with respect to Israel and everything else he was saying with Intifada, he's also anti-policing. He believes the police force should be abolished in New York and social workers should be doing that. He's anti-private sector. He wants public grocery stores and other things, even though New York City is running $100 billion in debt. He thinks the buses should be free with no explanation for how anybody's going to pay for that. And just one other quick point I would make, too, is it is really interesting. It's an example of the downstream consequences of immigration and multiculturalism, that he is somebody who was born outside of the U.S. He's Muslim and Hindu heritage. He identifies as Muslim. And you've got the mayor of London, the mayor of Rotterdam, the mayor of Calgary, and potentially the mayor of New York City, being these folks. How compatible are they really with the cities that they're governing? That is, I think, the elephant in the room.